Good morning, my little dumpster fire babies. How is everyone doing this morning? I hope that your day is off to a wonderful, fantastic start. If it's your first time here, hi, my name is Carrington. Even if it's not your first time here, you've been here a time or two, still have not yet hit that subscribe button or click the little bell, I absolutely invite you to do so that way you can be notified of all new makeup releases when I review them. If you enjoy this type of content, definitely give this video a thumbs up and let's dive into testing out some more new makeup. So what kind of makeup do I have to try? I have a ton and I am so excited. So first off is I have this from Klarity. This is the Croc palette. There is a whole story about how long it took for me to get this palette, and we will definitely be diving into that whole story on that whole shabacle. From Ulta Beauty, I got this hyaluronic acid setting powder. This is new to their line. I do have some more Tarte stuff to try, so I do have another lip liner to try and a juicy lip. I do have this from Kaleidos. This is another eyeliner. This is like my third video where I'm just trying out a bunch of different ones just to see what I like. From Too Faced, the new collection that they have, they launched some blushes. I picked up this blush right here. This is in the shade Cloud Crush. Is that Candy Clouds? It's called something. I have these lashes from Unearthly. These are in the shade, okay, not shade, in the style Mystic. I have this from Clinique. This is the Moisture Surge Sheer Tint Hydrator Broad Spectrum SPF 25 and universally very light, but it does not look universally very light. It doesn't. Then from Hourglass, I had bought the Butterfly palette. The Butterfly palette definitely is more towards my skin tone. This is the Tiger one. This is made for obviously a much, oh, there's my messy desk. Much deeper skin tones. So I'm mainly going to be using this for like the blush. And then also from Klarity, I bought a couple of singles. Here is a bronzer that I purchased, and then this is a highlighter. It came in a compact, but the compact, like, there's no glue to it. Like, it was just, here it is. It was literally like just falling out, like all over the place, because it just didn't stay. So, yay. So if you guys are excited to see what I think of these products, what I would recommend, how I would rank them, then definitely keep on watching. I personally really love to start with my eyes. So we're going to dive on into this Croc palette. But before I do, let's go ahead and let's do some swatches. So first up, we have the shade right here. This is called You Croc My World. This is like a grayish brown, very cool toned. Next up, we have the shade, these are hard to read, Let's Croc and Roll. This is kind of a, like, again, a very cool tone. These two kind of like go together. Next up, If the Snap Fits. This is an olive green. We then have Death Roll. This is a olive green, gold, light green type of shift. We then have Tailgater. This is a very warm, orangish type of shade. Next up is Snapper. This is like a brown with some like orangish reds and bluish greens in there. Then we have Swamp Thing. This is like a deeper, just neutral brown. Next up we have Cold Blooded. This is a very mossy type green with a little bit of some gold in that. Then we have Apex. This is like a light, very neutral type brown. And then this shade right here is very topperish. This is called Crocodile Tears. I'm not really for sure if you guys can really, let's see if I can like layer it maybe like a little bit or like sheer it out. Yeah, do you see how like topperish that is? It's like a rose gold with some like bluish green flakes in it. So I kind of want to do something a little bit like greenish brown maybe. So I want to start off with a shade right here called You Croc My World. Wow, that was a struggle for me to say. Amazing. Okay, let me just talk about, while I'm doing this eye look, the debacle with this palette. Oh, so I placed an order for this. This was a pre-order, so I knew it was going to take, just like first and foremost, it was going to take a little bit to get, okay? I knew this. I came into this knowing that, and I was okay with that. So imagine my surprise when, first of all, let me just say their shipping company, phenomenal. And the reason why I say this is because I think I placed like 2 or 3 separate orders. So I placed the Croc palette, and then I purchased a ton of their lip options, and then I went and I placed like an order for like singles and like a couple, and like the bronzer and the highlight that I have. And it all came in one box. So I am so very appreciative that they just like took the time to combine, realize that like they had multiple orders in the system. They could get them out at the same time or whatever. When I opened up my Croc palette, when I got it, there were only 3 shades inside this palette. The shades that I got were If the Snap Fits, Snapper, and what was the other one? I think it was Apex. So I got these shades right here. The rest of it was empty. As soon as I got the palette, as soon as I opened it, I immediately contacted them with all the pictures and everything. Turns out somewhere along the way, I was not the only one that this happened to. So if you're in my comment section and you're like, this thing happened to me, yeah, apparently this happened. So what happened was some people were getting complete palettes with all the shades, and there were a good portion of us that were only getting 3 shades in our palette. So somewhere along the way, like they weren't finished, but yet they were finished enough to be put into a box and shipped out somewhere. So Klarity immediately like made like, they're like, hey, if you're getting this email, it's because you are one of the people who got only 3 shades in your palette. We plan on having a tracking number to you as soon as possible. Let me go ahead. Let's move on to our next shade. So the next shade I'm going to go into is going to be this one right here, If the Snap Fits. So I was like, no, okay. So they were like, we need to, like, don't get rid of your palette, because what we're going to do is we're just going to ship you the singles instead of like having like a whole palette, because there's, I mean, there is nothing wrong with the palettes. Like, oh, the shade is pigmented. So like, there's nothing wrong with the palette, right? Or the shades that I got. Like, the only issue was they were missing. So today when I went into work, I work for a shipping company, so I have a lot of like my packages shipped there. It was there. I didn't get a tracking number or anything. But yeah, it was pretty quick, because it was supposed to start shipping out. They were supposed to have the singles finished and ready to be made by this, well, couple weeks ago, like a week ago, whenever you guys see this. So yeah. So I walked in today, and there they were. They were just right there waiting for me. And I was like, oh. So now I was like, yes, I've been waiting to play in this palette. I'm so excited. So let's dive in. So then for the outer corner, I'm going to go into this shade right here. This is Swamp Thing. Just going to take that. Ooh, quite a bit of kick up. Klarity does have kick up in their pans. The only shades I really ever notice fallout on the face from is going to be some of the shimmer shades. Not all of the shimmer shades, just a few. So if you do not like kick up in the pan, you're not going to care for Klarity's formula. If you don't want any fallout on the face, you won't like their shimmers, but you will like their mattes. Their mattes are extremely, extremely pigmented, easy to blend, easy to use, effortless. It's a really good, it's a fantastic formula. I do this all the time. Sometimes my stuff will stop and I think I've hit start and I didn't. So I went in, I glitter primed my eyelids. I went in first with this shade right here called Cold Blooded all over the lid, and then I topped it a little bit with the shade right here called Snapper. These are both very similar in like tone, shade. The only difference is one has that little bit of like a bluer shift to it, but overall they're not markedly different. So next up is we're going to use this Kaleidos gel. Oh geez. What are these called? Hold on. These things are hard to read. Or I'm old. Or both. I don't know. Okay. the Kaleidos Epiphany Glow Melt-On Eyeliner. Here we go. This one is in the shade 7Cs. I feel like I need to go get like glasses now. So I'm going to start kind of swooping this up and around. I think that's so pretty. I love these. Right now I have found one color that I'm not like, oh wow, like super impressed by, but for the most part, I think this is really pretty. So I did go ahead and put on these lashes. I just have a better time putting them on off of camera because most of the time my mirror is just like right here. So anyways, about these feel like when you put them in your hand, like they feel like just like so heavy and just like, they just feel thick. Like they feel like there's some thick mamacitas. And again, this is in the shade Mystic. And again, they are very, very, very voluminous. I wouldn't say necessarily super long because I have super hooded eyes. And they're not like up to here as some really long lashes can be. But I think these are really, really pretty, especially if you have hooded eyes. They're really nice and like small towards like the inner, and then they just like start to flare out. So these are really pretty. So now I've also went and primed the face. So now we're going to try this Clinique Moisture Surge. It says, wait, in the AM, apply directly to clean skin over your favorite moisturizer. Okay, it says Sheer Tint Hydrator. Okay, oh shoot, a lot came out. I like opened up the cap and all this just like started coming out and I was like, help. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a little, okay, I'm gonna need to start stippling this on the back of my hand is what I need to start doing. And then I'm gonna start, okay, I don't know if this is like providing any coverage at all. It says Sheer Tint Moisturizer and it says to put this on. So is this like just like an SPF? Like you use this as like an SPF under makeup? Like is that what we're doing? I think that's what we're doing. Nope, I think that's what we're doing. Cause I don't think it gave any coverage. I think it did give some glow. So this might be good if you're wanting something glowy with some SPF. I would still though, if I were you, use an SPF moisturizer and use a use an SPF moisturizer, use that, and then use actual SPF. Now I've got some concealer on. I didn't use any cream products, but I want to go ahead and start trying out this Ulta Loose Setting Powder. So, it feels very, very soft and silky. It's almost like I can barely even like notice it, truthfully. I'm just going to take a brush and I'm just going to swirl a little bit into the cap. And then I'll tap off because I have really dry skin, so I don't need a lot of powder. And then I'm just going to start setting. Now, I do know that I like the concealer that I have. And I do know that I like this foundation that I have over, like the Chic Glam. It's one of my favorites. I put that in my December favorites video. So, let's just see. Again, I just don't feel like it's like, it feels silky. It feels like really smooth. It doesn't feel wet. Ooh, okay. I think it sat my face really well. It's my under eyes that are kind of like the problem child. So I would probably use this honestly to set like the rest of my face. Because setting the rest of my face, it looks good. It's my under eyes that don't. And my under eyes are the problem child. Okay, I literally just put like a little dab of concealer and just like blend it out. But sometimes even then just my under eyes are just so dry, crepey, has fine lines that sometimes just some powders just don't mesh well with that, which it's fine. Like it's not the end of the world, right? Okay. So then the next stuff that we have are going to be like bronzers that we have got from Klarity. Mine is in the shade, I wonder if it says Peach Milkshake is what, ooh, okay. Literally that's one tap in with my brush. Oh boy. Oh, okay. Oh wait. E-I-E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm, she had an orange chicken. Yeah. Wow. Oh, wow. This actually isn't bad. Like when you tap in, you get a lot of product first and foremost. So I just want y'all to be aware. You will need to tap off your brush. You will get a lot of kick up all over. Like, you know, if you're putting this in like a palette with other shades, it's going to get all over that. So just so you know. With me being as fair as I am, I tried to read ones that were marketed towards fair skin with like cooler or neutral undertones. I can't remember what this one said it was. I will put it up on the screen, but if it says anything cool or like neutral, that is not the case. This is warm. I'm literally looking like a peach milkshake. Like that's all that there is to it. I look like a peach milkshake. Okay. All right. So then I realized I did an error. So I said I was going to use the Too Faced blush when like obviously I was using this for blush. Again, so we have right here, this is a setting powder. This is a highlighter. This is a blush. This is a blush. This is a highlighter. And this is a highlighter as well. All the highlighter is going to be way too dark. But I'm going to go into... I guess let's go. I don't want it to be that pink though. Let's try this. I'm going to try this. I know it's a highlighter. I'm just going to take a little bit off and just, okay. Yep, this is pigmented for sure. So if you are fair, light skin tone, anything like that, and you were like, oh, I want to get the tiger one, because that one, I don't know if you can still get it in stock or not online, but you could. It's very, very pigmented. Like I've just dipped into my brush like one time and it is pigmented. Wow. So if you have like, you know, deeper skin tones, this is great. I don't know how good it is for like deep skin tones. Okay, so don't quote me on that. I don't know, but for the most part, I think it looks all right. So then we're gonna go into this Klarity Cosmetics highlighter. What shade is this? Does it say on that compact? Where's the compact even? In the shade Attention Please. So I'm just going to take a little bit. That also has quite a bit of kick up on it. Then we're just going to start putting this on our high points like so. Okay. All right. So right now the cheeks are kind of, no way. That's, oh, it's too deep. It's too deep. This right here is just too deep. That's too gold. Too gold. Okay. Right now the cheek products are not serving me well. They are not serving me well. It's fine. We'll move on. It's fine. It'll be fine. For the under eye, I think I just want to mainly focus it on being like more brown. So I'm going to start off with this shade right here, Apex. We have not used that shade at all. So let's see what happens when we smoke it out. Kind of all over. Then I'll move on into the shade You Croc My World. That's the original shade that we started off with. Just gonna hug it up here. And then last we'll take that, what is this called? Swamp? No. Yeah, Swamp Thing. And just focus that on like the very outer portion of the eyes. For inner corner, I want to go on into the shade right here called Crocodile Tears. I'm nervous because the shade, I don't know if you guys like can see it, but like little glitter flecks start like falling off of the, yeah, it's like getting everywhere. This is one of the things with like the Klarity formula, is that some of their shades or shimmer shades are just like a little bit chunky. So they do get all over the face. So now we're ready to try out some of the lip products. So I have another Tarte Maracuja lip liner. I really like these. This is in the shade Rosy Brown. I think a nice brown will go with this. So then we have this Tarte Maracuja Balm, Juicy Lip Balm. This is in the shade Ginger. So I think this will go nicely. Yeah, it's a little bit more brown. The other one's a little bit more pinky. I think it goes okay. I think that looks fine. Definitely nude. Not something I go for a lot, but I think it looks fine. So here's the completed and final look, testing out some new makeup. What do you guys think of the final look? I'm very, very happy with it. I had a lot of fun with these products. There were definitely some hits. There were definitely some misses. So let's go ahead and let's dive right on into the ranking part of this video where I rank the products from my least favorite to my most favorite with an explanation as to why. So coming in last place is going to be this from Clinique. This is the Moisture Surge Sheer Tint Hydrator. I don't know. I was thinking, okay, number one, I was thinking this was going to have a lot more coverage. Like I was like a sheer tint, but it didn't even give a tint. And the reason how I know it didn't give a tint is because, okay, just come off just a little bit. This is the color of it. This does not match my skin tone by a lot. So the fact that it didn't even change the color of my face at all whatsoever kind of shows that even then it just like doesn't have a tint at all. It blends out into nothing. So I think that's good for like, I think that would be a great primer. Okay, but I wasn't expecting that to be a primer. I think it'd make a great primer. As for anything other than that, I just don't think so. So for me, that's not a product I'm going to reach for a ton. I have my top favorite primers. I'll use that, but again, it's just probably not one that's my favorite. So coming in next place, I'm honestly just going to lump all of these together because I hated them all. This is going to be the cheek products. So first of all, I bought the Tiger palette because I really wanted to like collect these because I love animals. I love the tint. I think it was just me wanting to collect, and it was just like a poor choice on my part to want to use this. This is way too deep for me. Like the blush is so deep, and I literally just tapped in once, and it is just like, bam, pigmented. And I was like, ooh, too much. And honestly, I can't use any of these as highlighters, can't use any of them as bronzers, can't use any of them as setting powders. I can only use all of these for blushes. And with them being as pigmented as they are, I'm just not going to reach into that a whole lot. I'm just not. Next up are these from Klarity. This is just so orange. I know it looks so orange. I think on the website it was like geared towards like cool or neutral undertones. This is not. Nope, this is not. It is not cool. It is not neutral. I look very orange and I'm just not here for it. This right here is way too deep and way too dark. But if you look at this, it just doesn't look like it's going to be too deep, too dark. It looks like an icy with like a little bit of a gold. It's just gold. It's just gold. There is nothing white about that at all. So, yeah, no. Next up is going to be this from Ulta Beauty. It's that hyaluronic acid setting powder. It's very, very thin, finely milled. My face feels very, very like buttery and smooth. I really like it. The only part I don't like it is I just don't like the way it makes my under eyes like look. It just makes them look old. Like old. Like the rest of my face looks good. Looks like skin. Looks like baby skin. And then my under eyes, and it's just like, are you 80 years old? But like the rest of your skin looks good. I don't know. I think it's so good for the face, but if I'm like trying to set my whole entire face, I wouldn't go for that powder. I would have to go for like a powder, like use that to set my whole face and then use something else for my under eyes. A lot of the times, honestly, I'm just trying to go in with my Maybelline Fit Me. Y'all, I'm almost done with this powder. I am legit almost completely and totally done with this powder. It's wild to me. I'll just go in with that, you know? So it's not like I'm going to be reaching for this powder specifically. Next up is going to be the Tarte Maracuja Balm. These are very nice. They're very comfortable. I do like to wear these once in a while just because of how nice and comfortable they are. Especially if I'm not going somewhere or doing something for a long period of time, or I can easily just, you know, grab it on my purse and be like, swipe, and be on my way. Most of the time I'm going for a liquid lipstick over these, but I love that they do add some pigment. And I love how like juicy they can make your lips look. And I love how they feel. They're so like, they just glide. My lips just glide together. I love those. Next up is going to be these lashes from Unearthly. These are I love these for my hooded eyes. They're very, very voluminous, very, very thick lashes, but I think that works perfectly for like my hooded eyes. I love how they like really flares and it's very like short on the inner corner. Those are styles I really like. I think it looks really flattering on my hooded eyes. So those without hooded eyes, like let me try to unhood my eyes, it's gonna look even better. Next up is going to be the Tarte Maracuja lip liners. These are really nice, very, very creamy. They are nice and pigmented, and these actually have really good staying power. I tried the other one of these. I think it was like just like a plain brown. It wasn't this one. And that, I mean, the lip wore off, the lip liner. I mean, it was still there. Like, it was still there until I took my makeup off. Those stay very, very well. Very comparable to like Natasha Denona, Pat McGrath, things like that. They're fantastic. Next up is going to be in second place, this eyeliner from Kaleidos. I love these. These are so creamy. They are so like pigmented. They have a good shift. I love just like putting these just like right here in my swoopity boopity with my eyes. I know I put some on earlier, but then it's like, let's just keep going because it's just so good. They're pigmented, they're creamy, they glide right on. You could use this for eyeliner, you could use this for like a swoop, you could use this like all over your lid. Like they're phenomenal. They're absolutely phenomenal. So that's going to be first place is going to be this from Klarity, this Croc palette. I really love Klarity and their formula, but this is probably my favorite palette and my favorite color story for them. It speaks to me because it has a lot of like cool toned browns, and I love cool tones, especially for my cool toned skin and my eye color. So good. But then you can also turn it green as well. I think my only issue is that this shade right here, what is this called? Crocodile Tears, is just so flaky and kind of chunky and crumbly that it fell out on my face. As you can tell, like I just put that on. Do you see how crumbly that is? That is kind of one of the issues with their shimmers, is that they are so just like lightly pressed and so have so much like shimmer and shine in it that they are a little bit crumbly. You can get fallout. So that is it for today's video. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys have given this video a thumbs up. If you enjoy testing new makeup, if you enjoy ranking of products, things like that, then definitely make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button and click the little bell. Comment down below if you guys are planning on picking up that Klarity Croc palette. That's a good palette. Let me know what you guys think of any of these other products, or the things that I love that you hate, or the things that I hate that you love. Let me know all of that down below. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.